Hello, my name is Ilona and today it's Monday, January 23rd, 2023. And as you can see, I've got a screen behind me. It was hoping it would make my, the sound less hollow. So I thought I'd put this behind me, but I've noticed it doesn't work very well. It has to do with the height of my ceiling and, I can't really put a screen up there or so. It's a beautiful color, I have to say. Purple is my favorite color, but I don't think it's working very much. So who knows, I might keep it or not. I don't know. We'll just let it be for what it is. I was looking this morning through some news things. You know, I always check my Telegram and see if there's news. I've noticed there are a lot of the same things, so I didn't feel like I had a lot to share. So I'm just going to see how it's going to go today. Of course, I've got consultations as well and other things I have to do today. But I'll just see, because I just noticed there are a lot of the same things coming back. And to be very honest, most of you know about this, so I'm not going to keep, sharing the same things. So the most interesting thing that I wanted to look at first is that Mr. B apparently has again classified documents. They were apparently found again, and if I'm not mistaken, there's even something I shared about Elon Musk that someone was mentioning this on Twitter, that they found new documents, and he was kind of responding then with, well, maybe they should wonder where there are not any documents, because they're like everywhere. And I also shared a message from Stormrider on my Telegram channel, and this was about the white hats and the dark energies wanting to get rid of Mr. B, and they both have their agenda for that. And I thought that was very interesting, because I do feel that they both want to get rid of him, especially because the media is now suddenly on top of things as well. Media are still dark energies, so they would only do that if it is in the if the dark energies have an agenda. Otherwise, they wouldn't mention it. I also wanted to just mention the dark energies and the white hats. I call the white hats because it's easier to understand where they stand, but I don't see them as the complete opposite of the dark energies. I believe that they, of course, are fighting for our freedom. They're helping humanity, and but they are more from a balanced approach. So I don't see them as like the opposite. I see them as more of the dark and the light in themselves. They balance that. I think that's what we are now facing. We're really going through a spiritual growth, and we are now becoming more one, more in balance. So we don't need this extreme duality anymore. So we don't jump from one side to the other side. So if I'm talking about white hats, I'm not necessarily just speaking about the opposite of the dark energies. I'm talking about balanced, that they are balanced, and they're really about uniting the dark and the light in ourselves so we can grow and start manifesting. I think they're helping with that. But I'm still using it because it's easier for people to understand who I'm talking about and on what side they are. So I just wanted to mention that. I got some cards. I shuffled them in my Dutch video, and the first cards were about Mr. B and, of course, those documents. Well, the first card I got was the Page of Pentacles. The second card was the Two of Wands. That's the central card. The card in the past was the Knight of Cups. Underneath the Two of Wands, we have the Temperance. And then for the future, we have the Seven of Wands and the Tower. So to me, Mr. B is going to, fall to the side. We know this is going to end. This is the beginning of the end for him. So Mr. B is going down, so to speak. But this is very interesting. So there are like two parties. They have their own agenda. The dark energies want Mr. B and the documents gone. They want it all disappearing, because Mr. B also took a lot of documents from the time that he was vice president, and obviously there was a president, Mr. O, and they want to make sure nobody connects anything to Mr. O. So there are a lot of documents about that period that had to do with the Ukraine and other ties. So they want to make sure that it disappears together with Mr. B. So he leaves the stage, then of course they will make sure those documents will leave the stage as well. But the white hats, of course, want to get rid of Mr. B as well. But they want those documents to come out. They want healing. They want the people to know what's been going on, also with Mr. O and all these other connections that will come out. And especially with this card, the white hats are in a better position than the dark energy. So they're letting it happen right now, but I do believe they have their people in place that will start leaking certain documents. I believe that was also mentioned in Storm Ride. I do truly believe that that's going to happen. This is about healing. This is about completely obliterating that corrupt system. So everything will have to come out, everything. But the dark energies will try to get rid of all these documents. Will try to, make sure people are not looking at that. So I think more distractions are coming out now to make sure people do not look in that direction. But I think those documents will come out. The White House will make sure things are going to come out. So the next thing I looked at was the energy of this week. There's been a video going around, and that was sent to me by a couple of people, about someone mentioning that this week there's going to be this humongous shut down, and that we have to be prepared and have to get our money off the bank and things like that. Of course, we've heard this before. I've kind of just felt about this message, and to me, it didn't resonate. I'm hoping, I hope I'm wrong, because I wouldn't be, I'm of course hoping for things like that to happen. A lot of us are hoping for that. But I didn't get that resonating feeling. So to me, it feels like I don't think that's going to happen this week. But see if it resonates with you or not, and just make your decision on that. But I think it's important to start feeling, does it resonate with me or not? So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope something will happen this week. But I have a feeling that it's going to happen. If a thing like that will happen, like a worldwide shutdown will happen, it's going to happen so suddenly or so unexpectedly, like nobody will be prepared for that. And I don't think anyone will be warned about that. That's the feeling I'm getting. So, of course, see if it fits with you or not, and if it resonates with you. Most people that are watching, they are already prepared. They know something like this can happen. So you usually have some food, some water, things like that are necessary, just to make sure if something happens that you can make it through. So the cards I got for the coming week is the Five of Swords, the Moon, and the Seven of Cups. Now these two cards are like the vague cards, the confusion cards, especially the Moon. It's like nothing is really clear, what's really going on. There's a lot of confusion. People don't know what to believe anymore. And this is about some grim power play. Now, a feeling I'm getting is that this week is going to be very grim. Things are going to come out, and I think they're going to try to work on people's fears, especially with the Moon and the Seven of Cups, so people don't know anymore what to believe. We know that Russia is doing things in the Ukraine, although they're not really fighting the Ukraine. They're fighting NATO now. And things can come out. I think we're going to hear a lot of stories coming out in the media that's really about confusion, fear. So it could get grim this week. And we've already seen false flags in America, unfortunately, very grim the past few days. There are things, there's this grim atmosphere. So we're going to hear more stories about power play, about confusion, about fear. So I do think that this week is going to be quite a negative week, if you want to look at it as an energy, as a vibration. So the advice for the coming week is Pentacles 9. We have Wands, number 9 again, and there was the 6 of Wands. So these are 2 9s, so it's almost at the end of, and I think we are really entering the end of everything that's going on. I do believe that this is going to be the year of truth, and that a lot of truth is going to come out, which of course will be, a lot of things will happen then, of course, when things are coming out. But for this week, be independent, follow your own path, look at your old wounds. So don't react immediately from this, you see this man with a wound, he thinks he's going to be attacked. No one is attacking him, but that's the feeling he gets. So he's going to act immediately. If something happens, he will be very defensive. So make sure you look at all these old pains you still carry with you. Make sure that how do you overcome them? That's what the Six of Wands is. It's overcoming old pains so you can become independent, so you won't be manipulated so easily. Because that's what that is about, this confusion that they want to create. So people don't know what's going on, especially when they're fearful. They are so much easier to manipulate. They can really push things through then. So it's very important to understand, especially as advice, to look at your own dark sides. Like I've mentioned before with the Whiteheads, I see them as a more balanced group where they're trying to balance the dark and the light, so you can overcome, so you won't be in all these extreme dualities. And that's what we have to do as well. We have to overcome the dark energies inside of ourselves. The shadow we still carry with us, the baggage we may still carry with us. It's very important that we look at that inside of ourselves. If we overcome, we will become independent. We can really start creating what we want. We won't be, we won't be manipulated easily. They won't be able to take our energy anymore, because we'll be using our energy for ourselves, especially with old pains, anger, fear. Those are points of entry for them to manipulate. So if we deal with them and overcome them, of course, they won't be able to do that anymore, and they won't be able to access our energy anymore. So very important that we focus on that we focus on our consciousness, working with ourselves. I think that's the most important task we have right now as humanity, to really look inside of ourselves and work with what comes up, what's happening, so we won't be like something they can play with. We really need to step into our independence. So this is what I wanted to say about this, and hope to see you in another video. Bye.